Hello and welcome. This tutorial is regarding the usage of Gitpod.New, an online integrated development environment. The entire presentation is going to have a few slides, followed by an actual demo. This tutorial has been made by the original gangsta m0ham3dx. Let's now talk about who is m0ham3dx. He is interested in security things. That is, a security enthusiast, a wannabe, a try-hard, amongst other things.
The following slide is what this tutorial is going to cover. We will start by talking about what is Gitpod, then discuss the feature, a blank repo. And without further ado, jump right into the tutorial. There are about 3 more slides before we get to the demo. Gitpod is basically an online IDE, which runs inside a Docker container. That means it's completely hosted in the cloud. This enables environment isolation for both destructive and non-destructive testing. It's really awesome. And I use it all the time. For more technical information, do check out their website as shown here. I have also made another tutorial on the usage of Gitpod for solidity-based static analysis, which you can find on my channel.
So now, let's talk about what is a blank repo. It is a fully functional instance of a Gitpod development environment. Once initiated, it isn't connected with your repository by default. It runs in isolation, which has its own operating system, and installed with useful default packages. It is ephemeral and can be either destroyed post-testing, or you can commit it to any of your repositories. Note, the instance stays persistent unless you actually delete it from your Gitpod dashboard.
Okay, enough talk. Let's get into the demo. So, to get started, let's log in to our GitHub account first, and then we make an account in Gitpod, which is a one-click process. Once we have logged into our Gitpod accounts, we can enter Gitpod.New in a new tab to spawn the blank repository. The speed at which it will spawn is dependent on your connection speeds, stability and ping response times. Note, this requires a high bandwidth connection. Once our repository is spawned, let's install some tools that aid in smart contract testing in general. There are some tools which I constantly use and are a personal choice. I have a list in advance. I will make a markdown file and then paste the installation instructions in them for fast referencing. First we will install Foundry, which is an Ethereum development environment. The remainder of this tutorial will be using Foundry for testing exploits. Next we will install a deployed smart contract downloading tool, which will extract the contracts which have been deployed to Etherscan. We will also download an excellent repository from GitHub, called Defy Hacks Reproduce. The author has written a POC for major exploits that have taken place and is being constantly updated. This repository is one of the best resources to study building a POC. The installation process will use the command forge install, which will pull the actual files from the Git submodules locally. We can also install the bash terminal fish. Foundry also has command completions for fish, bash, zsh and a bunch of other famous terminals. These command completions can be found in the official Foundry manual.
Now let's download a deployed contract from Etherscan. Note, I will be using the Web3 bug bounty platform Immunify, which have active listed projects looking for examination by bounty hunters and white hats. This process hence is legal. Once we have identified the smart contract of interest, we will use the smart contract downloading tool to pull it locally. You can also see the smart contract in a more prettier form by replacing IO with deth.net. Now let us test some functions of Foundry. We will initialize a new project, build it, and then test it.
Finally, let us test some of the POCs from Defy Hacks produce. Recall the objective of this tutorial is to illustrate the capabilities of Gitpod's blank repo. We will test the POC for the recent AUDIUS hack, which had suffered an exploit in its governance contracts. Note this POC can take some time to execute, since free public RPCs are being used. As we can see, the POC has executed successfully.
Note, the blank repo will be persistent and visible in your dashboard until you delete it. The state of the virtual machine is also saved.
Thanks for listening. This is m0ham3dx. Until next time, peace.